Right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning on this nice, chilly Tuesday morning. It's actually not so cold. It's 65 now. It was cold this morning, but that's okay. That's all right. I'd rather have cold than hot, even if it's the Panthers being cold. Yo, what you doing, Leia? Okay, she's just walking around. So, is it a must win tonight? When was the last time we had a 5-game road trip and we lost all five where we got no points? I mean, that's a question for ChatGPT actually. So, all right, Steffi. Hey, how we doing, Stefasi? I see Maurice is going back to the original lines of the first 3 games. I mean, we won, right? Talked about that yesterday, right? How like as soon as we lost a game, he just went kind of cocoa puffs with the line changing. So they're not going to let Marchand lose his return to Boston, right? I mean that we said they wouldn't lose 2 in a row, and then they wouldn't lose the back to back, and then you're not going to lose to Buffalo. So we're going to go with they're not going to let Marchand lose his return to Boston, right? Right, Panthers. Hey, Simon, how we doing, bud? Craig says, unless the Cats are way sharper than they played the last 4 games, it could get ugly fast tonight. Hopefully they're crisp and ready to play a solid game. They need to. And maybe this is the game that gets them moving again, right? Nobody likes much of anything that's been going on. But, we want to have fun with these games. We don't want to do all this complaining and bitching and moaning and groaning. It's no fun. Real says, please let Marshy win for his homecoming, right? Hey, Jameson, must-win October game. I mean, it's not really a must-win for the season, but there's some reasons why it's highly encouraged. I highly encourage them to win this game. You don't want to give some of these other teams too much hope. Why do these all glasses always seem so crooked? I guess because they are. Let's fix that. They're comfortable, so I don't want to change them. But they're also just cheap glasses. I mean, there, that's close enough. All right. Simon, what's my opinion for the Lions in Florida? Honestly, if he's not going to go with Lundell, Luthorn, and Marchand, I mean, that's the only line that I'm kind of married to. So we're just kind of making it up as we go along here until and unless people start showing back up. Strafosky thinks it's a must win. Don't look at the standings, that's for sure. Kate says, let's not slap Marchand in the face like Colorado just did to Quebec. What's 2 points? You can do that, Craig? Craig says 2 points in regulation would be nice. You can actually do that? Oh, it's been so long, I forgot. Even more importantly, no injuries, please, for crying out loud, right? I mean, enough is enough. Enough is enough. So I'm curious. Let's see if ChatGPT has an answer for that. I'm asking it about when was the last time we went on a road trip of 5 games or more, and the team got 0 points for the entire trip. Let's see if we can get an answer. When was the last time the Panthers went on a 5-game road trip and they got 0 points? Says in the 24-25 season, they ended a 5-game road trip with a 5th straight loss. So we did this last year. Huh. That's interesting. It says no shoot. It says shootout 0 wins. I don't know if we got no points. That's interesting. It's saying they ended a 5-game road trip with a fifth straight loss, but were they all in regulation? Hey, Kenneth. Fossey, why do I think we're not forechecking? There's only two legitimate answers to that. Either they're saving it for as late in the season as they possibly can, or they're actually just completely gassed. I mean, that's I can't think of what a third option would be. So let's see. ChatGPT saying we did this last season. So let's look at their scheduling results and see if that's exactly what happened. Let's see. Let's get to where we want to lost 5 straight. Win 6 straight. There is a 5-game losing streak, but no. It was late in the season when we had already kind of said, okay, we're done and we're going to start resting players. And we did get a point against Montreal. So past that, I don't know how long it's been. And that, that's a completely different situation. That was that? No, that was actually 5 games. That was only a 4-game road trip. That was the year. We started off by losing to Montreal at home. And then we lost to Montreal on the road. We lost to the Leafs. We lost to Ottawa. We lost to Detroit. And then we came back home and won a couple of games. So not sure. That's a research project for sure. Let's see. Hey, Chunky. Scary says, do I think we should trade Evan Rodriguez and the first for Cale Makar? Well, let's just start with if Colorado wants to trade Cale Makar for Evan Rodriguez in the first, yes, because that would be such an insanely lopsided trade. I doubt the league would approve it. So yeah. And I don't suppose, and now of course the cap situation, we could never do it and all of that. But all that set aside, yeah, if they want to give us Makar for Rodriguez in the first, okay. I mean, I hate to lose Rodriguez, but okay, yeah, we'd do that. We would do that. Sebastian, he practiced yesterday. I haven't heard anything different. So Frost says, I am very worried we haven't had our tough part of the schedule yet. Or have we? Or, I mean, it's early. We couldn't have had. I think what I'm getting at, Strafossi, is that maybe the assumption that Buffalo, Detroit, Philadelphia are going to be easy wins. Maybe, none of this is going to be easy without Barkov. Real says, I blame Jaws for making the video that says not to panic about Barkov. Well, all right. So let me see how I can rebut that. I'm thinking. So in the grand scheme of things, there's no reason to panic. We got 2 cups, and we got the core of a team that could win another 2 cups, at least. They could not win anymore, but the core of the team in their age, they still have some years in them. They're going to get better. Their play is going to improve. Even with the 4 losses in a row, I wouldn't necessarily say I feel like panicking because, like I said in the last recap, I want to win, and inside of each game, I'm going to get frustrated. But if the worst case scenario should happen and they miss the playoffs, and then they all get a full off season of rest and rehab and getting stronger and everything, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? But I get it. I get it. I don't know if panic is the word. I think Shafar says I'm very worried. I think concern at this point is the word, right? Yeah, 2028. Yeah, we have a first in 2028. Cale Makar. Cale Makar makes $9 million. He has a 6-year deal that he signed in 21, so it's a $9 million cap hit. And then it's got this season and next season on it. So the only way in theory, Colorado's never going to do that. But in theory, the only way you can make that work under the salary cap is if you were sending Jones back as well. You know what I mean? If you wanted to play around with it, you know what I mean? Kate says, we will be fine. Positive energy. Sure, why not? We got nothing better to do. Kenneth says, early season reaction. Detroit is one of those 5 teams spots in the Atlantic. Detroit looks good. If the goaltending continues to hold up, yeah. I mean, we knew this day was coming. We thought it was just going to be Montreal this year. But yeah, Detroit look good. And the teams that would normally be jostling for position in the Atlantic, Panthers, Leafs, and Lightning, I'm guaranteeing that the attitude of all 3 of those teams is simply going to be just get into the playoffs, right? Neither one of those teams is going to give a rat's ass about fighting Montreal or Detroit for first or second place. All those teams are experienced enough to play on the road. And I mean, that's what the Panthers, they made a conscious decision last year at some point to say, all right, we're not even going to chase Toronto. And they just went into resting guys mode, and it paid off. Real says, I'm not worried as long as Tampa, Boston, or a Canadian team doesn't win the cup. You'll be fine. Well, no Tampa, no Boston. But, I mean, now, Real, are you sure about that? Are you sure, Real, that because eventually a Canadian team is going to win? Now, if you wanted to at least say, hey, how about Montreal wins? But Montreal beats Toronto in the Eastern Conference Finals. Could it get that way? No, because they'd have to play through them. Well, I guess if Toronto finished in last, in the 5th place, they could have to go through the Metro, right? Either way, if Montreal was to beat Toronto in the playoffs and then win the cup, I mean, the Canadian team is eventually going to win. And if it's at least Montreal and not Toronto, there's that. Spa says 3 of the games we gave up 2 empty net goals. Yeah, no, the defense, in my opinion, has been good. Good enough. We're not like, the 2000 Devils or anything. Craig says the way Barkey works, he will come back during the playoffs and be 90% or better. Which is, 90% of Barkov is still, But as you look at things laying out and you start to see that, as an example, in the Atlantic, we could end up having to beat Montreal and Detroit. Boy, that's a lot of youth. That's a lot of energy coming at us. Real says Tampa is bad. Vasilevsky, I think, has just not looked like him. Tampa's not been good all the way around, but Vasilevsky's numbers are bad. Anthony, how you doing, bud? You think the 2 guys that we can trade for that are not going to affect our cap because they come off the books next year is Charlie Coyle or Chris Kreider? So, and I don't mean this towards you, Anthony, but there's nothing we're doing. There's no trade. There's nothing that we're doing unless they know Barkov's not coming back. Because if Barkov comes back, we don't even have the cap space for the guys we already got to play in the playoffs. So the only reason there would be a trade is if Barkov's not coming back. And if Barkov's not coming back, unless you're actually going to find a way to make Sidney Crosby work, there really wouldn't be any. I don't know that there's a player out there, if the Panthers are playing the way they are. Well, if they play the way they are, they're not making the playoffs. But like you're saying, Coyle or Kreider, I don't know that that's what we would do. I don't know what you do. To be honest, I kind of feel like they're going to do nothing. I kind of feel like they're just going to ride it out. And, well, maybe Barkov's not ready for the first round, but maybe they feel like, okay, he definitely would be ready for the second round should they get out of the first round. So that's my guess, is that unless it gets to, a couple weeks before the trade deadline, and they can know for sure that he's not going to be back, like if he has a setback or something like that. But if there's even a 50% chance that he could be back for maybe the second round of the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to ride with what they got, because we have 2 cups. And while the team has not looked all that good right now, we looked fine in the first 3 games of the year. If Barkov doesn't come back, and you're riding with Lundell, Luostarinen, Marchand, Bennett, Tkachuk, Samoskevich, and Reinhart, Verhaeghe, and Rodriguez, in whatever order, if you're going to ride with that and maybe get Barkov back second round or something, I don't think they're going to make any moves. I really don't. Hey, Thomas. Yeah, Dobish is doing pretty well. They're all right now. Kate says Montreal is definitely looking the most likely to eventually take it home someday. Yep. All right, I got you there, Real. Yeah, you want back Calgary, right? Holy crap. Anthony says, we don't need to replace Barkey. We need to get that delusion out of our head. But we can get players that are going to cover up his options, but no one's going to replace it. I like Crosby, but he's 40. Can I say, but that doesn't counter your point that Barkov coming back for the second round, how they get to the second round. Oh, I agree, Kenneth. I totally agree. I'm just telling you what I think what they're going to do. You know what I mean? I think as long as there's a chance that Barkov could come back, they're not going to use his money. That's that I would be willing. I mean, what do I know, right? But I'd be willing to place money on that in terms of if the doctors tell them, maybe the first round, definitely by the second round, they're not going to use his money, because then they, whoever they would get wouldn't be able to play. It's kind of funky. You know what I mean? Whoever they would get, I mean, like they could go get Crosby and then get through the first round of the playoffs. And then when Barkov comes back, you're going to have issues with how you can ice the team that is cap compliant, even with Rodriguez off the ice. Because even if Pittsburgh eats 50% of Crosby's deal, and you forget the fact that you'd have to worry about next year, you still got cap issues. And it is what it is, right? The Panthers laid out all of their plans as if the rules were going to be one specific way. And then with a couple weeks before the season, the NHL decided, you know what? I think we'll change the rules for this season. And there's no way to fix that. And then Barkov goes out. And like I said, it's just the worst possible combination of circumstances, which is going to make it all the more sweeter when we win again. Anthony, yeah. Well, the reason why I and Card Hobbyist is right. Trading for a big name will require Samoskevich. That ain't going to happen. Anthony, the only reason I'm bringing up Crosby is because there's only a number of players that would even make enough of a difference for us to be worth it to go even get a guy at this point. Like Maurice said in his press conference, these are the guys. I mean, these are the guys. And the defense is set. I mean, could you do something at some point where you think you could move Boqvist and get a better winger, a better scoring, a guy with more offensive upside, package Boqvist than an AHL guy or Boqvist than a pick, and go get somebody that's a little bit more consistent offensively? Yeah, that could happen. But you still got to watch the cap because Boqvist is $1.50 million and 1.5. And right now, if Barkov comes back to the playoffs, he can't be on the ice in the playoffs because of the cap situation. So who knows? You know what I mean? We don't know. We're so early on in the season, and we keep losing guys as it is. You know what I mean? And if something happens to a Bennett or a Reinhardt or a Verhaeghe and they're not able to come back, then the whole situation could get flipped on its head because we'd have more cap space if we put them on season-ending LTIR. And there's just a million different things that could happen between now and then. And, like I said it when this all started off, when Barkov first got hurt, we have to wait and see where the real weaknesses are. Right now, there's no player that's going to fix what's happening because we're not playing our game. We're not playing hard. We're not forechecking. We're not doing the things we need to do. Now, if they go out there and they're busting their ass and, Boqvist can't put the puck in the back of the net, or Rodriguez can't cut it at 3C. If they're playing their game and we're just not quite good enough, maybe there's some move to be made there. But I don't know. And, you don't want to go. Everybody's got no trade clauses too, right? The guys that you could move theoretically are I won't even say the first word I was going to say because he's untouchable. Samo's untouchable. Rodriguez, Luosterainen, and Boqvist are the only guys that have any amount of salary attached to them that don't have no move clauses. I think even Kulikov, I believe that Kulikov got a no move, or at least a modified, because it was such a long-term thing. No. Not that you're going to move Kulikov, right? Not that you're going to move him, but no, he doesn't have any kind of trade protection. So, but that's it. There's really a short list of guys. Petrie, I mean, I don't know anybody what you're going to get for him. Like, the only reason you'd be trading Petrie is if you're looking to clear up cap space, right? You know what I mean? And I suppose that if this kid that we got from Ottawa looks good, or Bornfoot comes in and suddenly turns into what he has not been, I guess you could maybe move Petrie for cap space at some point. Not going to do you any good to waive him. Nobody's going to claim him. You'd be sending them to a team that, just for them to take the salary cap. So you'd probably have to include some kind of asset, right? Real says, still think Petrie needs more time. We hated Schmidt until he scored all those goals against Tampa. Yeah, we were saying a lot of the same things we're saying about Petrie, we were saying about Schmidt at the start of last year. Now, Petrie is older than Schmidt. I think Schmidt was 33. Petrie's 37. So there is a bigger age difference there for sure. But we didn't have any money to do much of anything, So, at some point, could you package a couple of guys together and and do something maybe. But there's nothing out there that's going to make a big, these guys are either going to play well enough and Barkov's going to come back and they can win another cup, or they're not going to play well enough. And like we've talked about, the guys that are out there that are free agents that you would trade for, that are on the last year of their deal, we either winning a cup with the guys we have or not. There's no Marchand out there that's going to come in at the trade deadline and just like inject life into this roster. There's no Marchand out there that's going to do that for us this year. So, I mean, hell, half the energy the team has now is still from Brad Marchand. I don't think we win that cup if we don't get him. Hey, Vincent. So it's all good. Main thing, well, yeah, Chucky will. That's true, Strafasi. Now that is an excellent point. That Chucky will do that. Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. I bring up Bournefoot and some of these guys that you forget. I was watching the celebration for the first cup, and Bournefoot's on the ice. I'm like, this sucker has managed to hang around and has got 2 rings. You know what I mean? He's probably played 10 games combined into 2 years. He was just a waiver wire picking up that first year, but he was on the ice. I assume he got a ring, but I don't know. He was on the ice. Let's just put it that way. So good for him. Nobody, you know what I mean? 2-time Stanley Cup champion, Toby Bournefoot, right? Vincent said, rewatch that epic of a game versus Carolina today. My God, this team used to be fun back in the day. Yeah, remember the first week Kachuk? Remember the first week of Kachuk? And he was just running all over the ice, hitting everything. Like he was an absolute maniac. And then Kolesar hit him, and he said, oh, I should probably not do that a whole lot anymore. You know what I mean? So I give Chucky all the credit in the world, man, because I don't know how he – forget the fact that he played. I don't know how he played. Like, he got better as the playoffs went on. I don't understand how he was doing it. Like, not just the pain tolerance to be able to go out there and do what he did, but structurally and functionally, like, how did he skate? How did he hold position if he was ever in front of the net? He didn't do it as much as you would like him to do because he was obviously hurting. But the fact that he went out there kind of makes me believe that he could have would have played Game 7 with a broken sternum against Vegas if we had gotten that far. Real, yeah, I saw Stolarz going after Marchand. Yeah. Yeah, Craig says most of us couldn't even walk, right? Vincent says, I don't think Bournefoot and I count as champions. They just got rings. And that's just some memorabilia, to be fair. I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's, it's sketchy to call. I would give, well, Knight played last year, though, before we traded him, right? I would give Knight some credit last year. I mean, how many games did he play for us last year? The year before was the year he was in the AHL the entire time. What did he play for us last year? I mean, he started 21 games. He started 21 games as a goalie. I got to give him last year. You know what I mean? I mean, the dude was the backup goalie for most of the season and got, had a 2.40 and a 9.07. Boy, his numbers now are ridiculous. 196 and 937. Jeez. Kate says hockey players are just a different kind of tough, man. It's insane. Yeah, I know it, man. That's why when you see these guys you see them go down to the tunnel, You know something's hurting. I had put that video out yesterday, and I was rewatching the Kolazar hit on Tkachuk. I didn't realize there's this split second where Tkachuk is just looking up at Kolazar like, bro, why you do me like that? Kenneth says, are the Sharks an NHL team or graveyard for players out of the league? Carey Price, $11 million. Logan Couture, $8 million. Ryan Ellis, $6.25. They're not even playing. I know, man. I feel bad for Sharks fans. Vincent says you can give him whatever, but he's not a champion with the Panthers, but he might get a chance with the Hawks. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But, would you consider Vanacek a champion with the Panthers? You know what I mean? Or did we just not have a other goalie other than Bob last year? It's all opinion anyway. So, hey, Prowagan, how you doing, buddy? Real says what having a Greer for GM does to a person. That's a good point. That's right. That's right, Real, because the Sharks, Chris Greer's brother is the Sharks GM. They did give Vanacek a game puck. Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird how those are. Vanacek is the champion. That's not opinion. That's on paper. Gotcha. Well, let's see. Did they put Spencer's name on? I think they put Spencer's name on the first cup, right? I think they put it on the first cup. Yeah. He was included in the celebration. Let me see. So for the 23-24 season, he has a ring. And his name is on the cup, I believe. Spencer Knight. Yeah. Yeah, so his name's on that first cup. Yeah. Vincent, I'm just saying that he has a ring and he has his name on the Stanley Cup for the first cup, which I can't believe I have to clarify which cup I'm talking about, but he's got a ring and his name is on the cup for the first one, not last year. Hey, Dolphin, yeah, please, can we get back to winning? I have forgotten that I'm supposed to say 2 points at the end of the video. It's been so long. I'm just telling you what Google's telling me. I'm just telling you what. I mean, here on YouTube is Spencer Knight's day with the Stanley Cup. I mean, would they have let him have a day with the cup if his name is Vincent? I don't know. You're gonna have to. Here's the video with his day with the cup. They're gonna give him the cup if his name's not on it. Paragon says Stolarz is on the cup. Let me see. This was a year ago. Going by George Richards. Hurl, Lawrence. I see. Okay, so here it says Samoskevich, Sordif, Tobias, Bornfoot, and Spencer Knight were around to enjoy the celebration, but do not qualify to have their names on the cup. So that shows you what Google knows. They did let him have a day with the cup, though. They did let him have a day with the cup. Yeah. Yeah, he was the emergency goalie for the third one. Yeah. And that shows you what Google knows, man. Big old. Yes, Spencer Knight has his name on the Stanley Cup because he was part of the 23-24 Florida Panthers championship team. Although he was traded before the following season, the engraving on the winning roster is finalized after the victory, and he qualifies for a spot on the cup for that year. So did he qualify for last year's? No, I'm not saying you're wrong. Knight is one of the names engraved on the trophy for the 23-24 season. Let me see. I'm looking at the picture of it. I don't know, because I'm curious as to what the hell they're talking about. Because I don't see Spencer Knight's name on the cup. I know that sometimes they can ask the league to put guys' names on the cup, but there's Vladimir Tarasenko, Rodriguez, Stolars, Okposo, Montour, Luostarinen, Mahura, Mikkola, Reinhart. Nah, man. If he was going to be on it, it would have been where's the 2025 Stanley Cup? Let's see. Here's the 24-25. I know that's the one they didn't put Sifu on. Jones, everybody else is on a Caldwell, Bill Zito. I know they changed some of the names of the coaches that got on there. Brad Marchand, that is so wild, man. No. I wonder where Google got that information from. That goes to show you, man. I mean, Google is sure about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he qualified. That shows you they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yeah, Vincent. No, I hear what you're saying. Hey, Frank. Says there's no reason for them to be there. He was never dressed for a game in 24 and wasn't on the team in 2025. Yeah. Huh. I guess the next time that show him show him that. It's crazy he got a day with it and didn't get his name on it. That's wild. I wonder if Wikipedia says that he's on the cup. No, don't say it. Don't say it there. Anyway, he'll be okay. Hey, Axu. Axu says, yeah, that's why I don't like AI. So much misinformation. Yeah, man. I mean, they're sure about it. I guess theoretically, if he would have been on the team and only played the 20 games as a goalie, maybe that's where the mistake is. If he had still been on the team, but only played the 20 games, there's 21 starts as a goalie, then maybe he would have qualified. Rogan says, tell Google AI is wrong. It would just say, oh, yeah, you're right. ChatGPT is the same. Be careful what you ask. AI is 30% incorrect. Yeah. I do that all the time when I'm making when I'm doing like thumbnails and what. I'm like, you misspelled Florida wrong. And AI is like, oh, yeah, you're right. I spelled it wrong. Here's the proper spelling. And they give it to me the same damn way, misspelled. I'm like, that's an A. It's supposed to be an O there. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I keep making this mistake. Here's the corrected version. Same misspelling. Sometimes you catch it on a good day and it does it right. Other times, it don't matter how many times you tell it to make it an O instead of an A. It just keeps giving you an O. Hey, JC, who'd we call up for this game? We reacquired Spencer Knight. We traded, well, at the beginning of the stream, we traded Rodriguez in a first for Cale Makar. So actually says ChatGPT is the biggest yes man. Yeah, it does have some decent things though. I've been able to get some good information out of it, but you can't count on it for like stats and whatnot. I was researching a video that I'm going to be having come out, and I asked a couple questions, and it gave me some answers, and I was like, that don't sound right. And then I went and I checked, and yeah, it wasn't right. So it is what it is. Yeah, I like the Gemini image generator. I do okay over there. JC, who's my dealer? No, look at the chat. We did. We traded Erod in a first for Cale Makar. The deal's already done. Real says just put everyone on IR and get a whole new roster. Top pair, Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. Yeah. Actually, yeah, at least Google AI shows you the sources for the information. Did it give me that? I'm curious. It's weird because it tells you Knight is one of the names engraved on the trophy, and then it links you to an article that says his name is not on the trophy. The Panthers would have had to petition the leagues for the names. Interesting. Anyway. Hey, Dietrich. Yeah, right? It's the it is what it is. Colin, I think somebody up above said that Maurice is going back to the lines that were the first game, the first 3 games, the ones that we won. Right. I just would love to see how much time on ice is Marchand getting. I don't want to wear this dude out, man. His time on ice so far. Interesting. So his time on ice last year with us in the 10 games was 17 minutes and 37 seconds a game. His time on ice so far in the 7 games with us this year is 17 minutes and 37 seconds a game. That's incredible. So it does look like Maurice is not overloading him and giving him, 20 minutes a night. What's Lundell been getting? 17-26, so basically about the same. Lundell's faceoff percentage is 60%. Thank God, because everybody else has just been putrid. What's Bennett been? Bennett's time on ice is 18-13. His faceoff is about 45.5. That's about normal for him. What about Rodriguez? Rodriguez has been getting 15.58 a night. His faceoff percentage is 40.3%. That's not going to do it. Vincent says, here's the funny thing for you. Why Columbus had a Hebrew translator in his voyage for the Americas, which by the history books was an accident, and he actually went east and did not bring any Asian translators. So why did Columbus have a Hebrew translator in his voyage for the Americas? Okay, let's see. Let's see what it says. Not because he expected to meet Jewish people, but because he might encounter descendants of the 10 lost tribes of Israel or peoples from East Asia who might speak those ancient languages or related languages. Says he brought a man who knew Hebrew, Aramaic, and Arabic because he thought he might encounter descendants of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. A communist. Yeah, Lundell is carrying himself exactly, right? Oh, we're horrible in our expected goals have been off the charts compared to what we've actually gotten. Dietrich says we're cooked against Skynet. I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. I mean, whenever they want to do the thing where the robots have taken over and we no longer have debt, I'll make that trade. I'm old. Ain't gonna matter. I got 30 years left. Don says, what are the keys for winning tonight? Wake the F up. I think that's the way I would put it to keep things PG. Wake up. Yeah, you guys are going to have to play, right? We can't just coast like we did in years past. We don't have the best two-way player in the game on the ice 20 minutes a night anymore. They're going to have to work hard. You know? Mythical says, let's make a robot AI bark off to sub in for the playoffs. Marie says he's changing the power play. I seen something yesterday. George had an article out. I think he got Samoskevich on the first one. I hope the kid starts putting the puck in the back of the net a little bit. He's playing well. It's just the puck's just not going in for guys right now. Dietrich says, do I think the league told the team to hit less or face fines? No, I think they just don't have the desire to do it. I think they just don't have the desire to, we've seen this a lot last year where they just kind of get into these ruts of coasting. But with a full roster, we can do that and still get point here, point there. You know what I mean? Then I see the Avs Nordiques jersey. I always got a kick out of that because as soon as, let's see, Colorado Avalanche unveils specialty jersey. Let's see. That's interesting. I'm seeing it now. Let me go to the website and see if we got some decent pictures of it. Yes, I accept the cookies, huh? I see. These are just tickets to the game. I mean, that's interesting. They will don the Nordic sweaters as they take the ice for 6 games. None of them against Florida, though. Craig says, start with tape-to-tape passes and go from there. Well, or we could just dump it in and go get it. You know what I mean? I want to see them do some work tonight. So, Paragon, you don't like it? I mean, I always thought it was what's the word I'm looking for? The first season, the first year that they left Quebec and went to Colorado, they win the cup. It was like, damn, man, that's rough, Vincent says Lundell for faceoffs plus Samo. Yeah, we got somebody got to put it in the back of the net. Vincent says you actually look kind of presentable with these glasses if only you weren't wearing shorts. No shorts, man. No shorts. Hey, Cam Marshy with a hat trick tonight. you know he's going to be on fire. We cannot lose a game. We can't do this to him, right? We got to make sure that he wins his game returning to Boston. I know we play, he didn't play in the game at last year. He was still hurt. The Avs are looking good. I mean, don't look at the standings. Don't look at the standings. You see some funky things. So you got the Wings, they won again. The Canadians won. So they're both tied with 10 points. If the playoffs started today, ladies and gentlemen, the Panthers would not be in. If the playoffs started today, no. Kyle and I would have to be streaming. We would be streaming. No Atlantic teams are the wild cards. If the playoffs started today, Wings, Canadians, Leafs, Hurricanes, Devils, Penguins, Capitals, Flyers. Now, Flyers and Rangers are tied at 7 points, but the Flyers have 2 less games. So if the bomb drops and they have to cancel the season until the playoffs, the Rangers would be out, the Flyers would be in. And let's see. I don't know what the matchups would be, but yeah. Penguins would be in, Panthers would be out. Hey, Burned Oil says, if the Panthers falter this year, who do I think has the best chance of the cup? It seems to me open the door for Edmonton. Edmonton's got I don't know, man. I don't want to sit here and be the guy to pick Carolina. What I would say is that I would think that the team would come out of the West. I'll grant you that. I think if the Panthers aren't there, I think the Stanley Cup champ would come out of the West. But Vegas looking pretty good. Colorado looking pretty good. That would be my concern if I was Edmonton. If they could get there, I think they probably have a good chance against any of the other teams. But they got to get there, Vince says, now, if they look like their normal selves today, that is, again, going to show there's someone there that stabilizes the atmosphere, meaning spreads laziness. Destabilizes the atmosphere. Can we just blame Ekblad, Vincent? Can we just blame Ekblad? Although I don't know. I don't think Ekblad would be the guy that would do that. I don't know. Mythical says, one game at a time. The Hurricanes have been dominating the regular season and have nothing to show for it. We have a lot of hockey left. And that's true. And there's always injuries, right? There's always injuries. You never know what's going to happen to guys, especially goalies. Kenneth says, any team that knocks out the Stars in the Western Conference Final, they got to get there. There's fresh blood in both of these conferences right now. Colin says, the Bees have a tendency to take unnecessary penalties, so hopefully the Cats can capitalize on the power play. What did we have, 8? We had 8, didn't we? God. We had 8 power plays and we got shut out. That's hard to do. That's genuinely hard to do. Actually says, I swear Carolina had some crazy winning streak last season or the season before. Yeah. So Scary thinks Avs Canes final. If it's not going to be the Panthers, it could be the Canes finally have their shot, right? There's just not a lot of experience past Florida and Toronto. Toronto's got to find their way too, but I kind of feel like Stolarz to get that ship righted. Hey, Great White. They'll be around. They'll be back. Kachukin will be back. He ain't gonna miss the Olympics. And there's the flip side to things is that, if things go south, if for the Panthers, if we end up, 4.6 points out at the trade deadline, they may just close up shop and not even, and then be like, Barkov, just rest up. We'll see you next year. That's always a possibility. I don't think that that's going to happen, but we're going to have to expend way more energy than they were hoping to have to expend. We'll put it that way. Brogan, yeah, the PK and the power play went to crap on the road trip. They look so good, I know. Vincent says, sure, Ekblad is a secondary guy. I want to give a boot anyway. Hold on a second. I'm hearing something out here. No, okay. All right. Dietrich says, if we win tonight, win on Saturday versus the Knights, outlook will change twofold. Yeah, that game's at 6 o'clock on Saturday. If we beat Vegas, boy. Yeah, if we can beat Vegas, we're going to have to work hard, though. I can't believe I'm worried about that with this team. JC says, if the Panthers don't get to the Cup, I want to see Vegas take it and Toronto not make the playoffs. Oh, boy. Comment says, you almost have to try to be 0 for 8. Yeah, exactly. Greenway says, why are we not winning? It can't be just because all our Barkov and Tkachuk are out. But it is. I mean, to simplify it, Great White, they're used to being able to give 70%, waiting for the playoffs, coasting a little bit, whatever verb you want, however you want to describe it. That's what they're used to being able to do. But we've seen this before when Barkov's been out. The team is barely 500. They'll always play within a game or two of 500 one way or another when he's out. And then you add Tkachuk in. And those two guys are just too big of pieces. What the hell? Now I'm definitely hearing something. Hold on a second. What the hell am I hearing? I have to go look outside. Somebody walking around the side yard over here, but might not be on my property. Colin says the only team that I'm confident in is the Avs right now. Everyone is just a mixed bag. You think including Vegas? They've scored a lot of goals. Vegas has, I saw this morning. I mean, they got 30 goals in 7 games. I mean, they're averaging more than 4 goals a game and 7 games in. I mean, it's absurd the amount of offense they have, for sure. Teacher says, we need 3 for the official dynasty title. Yeah. Yeah, you got to have the 3rd for the dynasty, sure. What the hell am I hearing? Hold on a second. Is somebody right outside my house or something? What is going on? Hold on. What the hell am I hearing out here? Oh, okay. All right, I knew something was there. They're here to winterize the pool. I knew there was something going on. They're here to, you got to have the pool covered up and drain the water and all that for the winter. Okay, that makes sense. Mythical says, I completely agree with the trade deadline. That's where my mind was, especially since Barkov won't be 100% if he returned. We might need some new spark plugs. Zeal. Yeah, one team is putting their 4-game losing streak to an end tonight. Yes, exactly. Vincent says, Panthers are always in the South by default. There's nowhere to go. Stop being so generous and nice. Panthers going to do it and apologize to no one. Still says, I don't think we have lines that our system is comfortable with. We may have to adjust how we play until we're at full strength. They're going to have to figure out some way to generate a little bit of offense without it always having to be off of the physical forecheck. And Bennett needs to step up. Great White says, so I'm saying Barkey is our Tom Brady? Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Lundell's a good center. You know what I mean? But now we're seeing what Barkov means to this team. It just – Paul Maurice doesn't have these cups without Barkov. We'll put it that way. JC says, is our first-round pick protected this year if it's in the top 3? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we could tank for that bad of a pick if we tried because of Bobrovsky. Yeah, Mythical. Generally speaking, 3 cups in 5 years is considered a dynasty. Hey, Matthew. Yeah, Montreal is doing really well. Yep. Frosty thinks Vegas is blowing their wad. That's always a possibility. Yeah, 3 in 5 years is what dynasty is. That's what I've always thought it has been. Hey, Goat Slayer. Hope we can pull one out tonight, either a win or our heads out of our asses. One or the other needs to happen, if not both. You need to be yelling 2 points. The feds are finally catching up with me. I think so, actually. Yeah. Yeah, voices, noises, visions. Yeah, it's the feds disguised as pool boys. Yeah. All right, everybody. I got to roll. Game 7:30 tonight. So the members stream, that's 1/2 hour before ice time, will be at 7, not 6:30. And Kyle will be on time tonight. Damn it. Paragon. So does Bob go elsewhere if we don't win the next cup? No. No, I don't see that happening. I don't think Bubba's going anywhere. So my ears are hearing things. Yeah, I hear the pump. They have this loud pump that they have to, suck all the water out of the pool. So, all right, everybody, appreciate all the support. I shall see you for the members stream at 7.